Let's expose everything.
Hey, what are you doing?
Before we begin the review, there's a few things I'd like to say. First off, I have the utmost respect for Shinji Mikami. He made 4 of my favorite games, and I grew up the Resident Evil series. I love each and every one of them, except for 6. But then again, he wasn't part of 6 or 5. So, really, this whole thing with the Evil Within, I had the highest hopes for the game. I really, really wanted this game. I was losing my shit over getting this game. And I finally get it. We played it, and at first, yeah, it seemed like I was getting exactly what I wanted, and then as the game went on, it just kind of slowly became less about horror and more about fighting enemies that just kept getting thrown at me over and over again, to the point it just felt like a third-person shooter. And it didn't feel really any different from some of our latest releases of so-called survival horror in the AAA. And it let me down in that way. There's more action than there was horror in this game, and you know, it's honestly just my personal opinion. I know some other people may feel different, but this is just how I felt. As many survival horror games as I've played, as much as I wanted this to be the game that would bring back this genre, it's just not. And it saddens me to say that it's going to be a while before we get something that recaptures the magic of the first few Resident Evils. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stop this and let the review start. So, thank you for watching, thanks for viewing, and I hope you enjoy our review. Thank you. So, The Evil Within. What do you think? What do you think, Bob?
It was bad.
It was bad!
It was bad. Real bad. And here's why.
Oh, God. So, what are your thoughts of why it was bad?
Lots.
Lots?
Lots.
Lots.
Lots. Let's start off with the fact that it wasn't scary. Take it away.
Alright, so, the game wasn't really that horrifying. It was more, there's just gore everywhere. People's heads get blown in half, there's barbed wire coming out of a dude's eyes, there's blood everywhere, everything's dirty and gross looking, which is all really awesome and cool looking, but it's not scary. The game doesn't really do much to build tension, it just becomes frustrating because you go for 20 minutes after your last checkpoint, and then something happens where a boss one-hits you, or an enemy pops out of nowhere and stabs you in the face 5 times before you can even fight back. And you have to go over and do everything you just did again, constantly, over and over again, to the point that it just becomes a chore. It's no longer scary. It's like the enemy's gonna be there, he's gonna be here, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. All the headshots didn't kill him this time, now I gotta put 5 more rounds in, now I'm out of ammo, and the next guy's gonna beat my face in with a fucking sledgehammer. So, really, that's what's bad about the game, is that it's very, very unforgiving, and not in the fun kind of way, in the way that just tells you, go fuck yourself, try again. So, really, we would melee a guy like 5 times, he wouldn't die, hit us twice, be on the ground, and then he'd stomp face in. So that's something I really did not care for in the game. And then the boss fights, they felt like bullet sponges. There wasn't much you could really do. Maybe there'd be a trap you could activate, something like that. But you have to lure them into it, and sometimes they get lost and they run off somewhere else on the map. Especially the chainsaw guy. He would get distracted, get this ADD moment, spin around, and you're just sitting there waiting by the trap like, where is he? He was right behind me. Billy, where'd you go? You're supposed to stay with Mommy.
How about the fact that if he kills you, you have to go back 15 minutes before you meet him and go through all that again just so you can
Ugh.
attempt to kill him again.
Yeah, that whole village, that was a pain. That was really a pain. Like, up until that moment, everything was actually kind of fun because I was getting to sneak around and get up behind guys and stab them in the back of the head and feel like a badass. Except for when they'd spot me and then they'd stomp me into the ground. I'm like, okay, I screwed up the stealth. Let me start again. And then you just get to this village to where it's like, okay, I'm going to be stealthy. But there's so many of them, they instantly spot you and surround you that you can't be stealthy. And you just have to keep running around hoping maybe you can run away from them. Maybe they'll lose track of you and forget that you exist. Or maybe you can find more ammo to kill them. Which was what I had to end up doing, was luring them into traps. And sometimes you couldn't even get them to go into the trap. I threw a bottle and the guy went, huh? And then he just turned and looked at where I threw it from instead of looking at the bottle. When the guy was completely turned around, I was well enough away from him and he just came after me instead of the trap. And then I had to restart this whole part over again of getting the other guys in the trap and just constantly playing the same thing over and over and over again. That was the most annoying part. Alright, let's talk about just the environments and everything. Like, what did you think about the settings they put you in, all that?
Well, the graphics were nice and they knew that. They liked showing off what they did. But at the same time, they were pushing you to each new scenery as quick as they could. And it kind of took away from the scary experience.
Yeah, it really did. Like, I loved all the scenery, I loved all the stuff, but it's just so jarring how much it kept constantly changing. And just kind of like, you get a few minutes to take it in. It's like, all right, check out this other cool thing we made. Look at this monster, look at that. All of it's great looking, it's all very cool environments, but none of the environments really build up enough attention at any point in time. Maybe some of the scariest parts were when you first get hung up with the butcher and he's chasing you and you're limping around. That was actually a little bit scary. That was fun because you couldn't really do anything against him. You just had to run, and you couldn't even really do that. You were limping around, and then you get the four-armed bitch, whatever she's called, and she chases you in this horrific scene down these hallways and teleporting through bodies and pools of blood, which was really fucking horrifying, trying to get away from her. Then later in the game, you end up actually fighting her, which really took away from her. It didn't make her feel scary anymore, knowing that, oh, I can just pick up a torch and smack her in the face with it and she runs away. That kind of ruined her.
Boss fights could have been a little harder.
Yeah, honestly, they could have. Most of the time, the boss fight would just end cheaply with him one-hitting you or something. But for the most part, it's just, oh, either attract them into a trap or just keep loading them full of ammo, which the ammo part wasn't always an option because they don't really give you any ammo. Especially in survival mode. I tried survival mode. I tried so hard. This is supposed to be the normal mode, but I couldn't have enough ammo for as much combat they were pushing and forcing me to do, to where I would just constantly be out of ammo, so I had to break down in the middle of the game and switch it to casual, just to keep the game going, because we're still stuck in Chapter 3 for an hour and a half, because of constant ammo issues running out. Yeah, that's really one of the things. It just screws up pacing of the game. I'm pretty sure if you could keep constantly moving through everything without dying so much, the game's pacing would actually be very nice and it would flow very well, but they made it so ridiculously hard that it can't.
And the last thing I want to go over, the storyline and how likable the characters were.
What is it? I dropped my glasses back there.
Didn't really form any kind of bond, any kind of connection with any of the characters. I mean, the characters are cool in their own way, but they're kind of shallow. There's really no depth to any of them. There's really nothing to them. The only insight you get to see into their personalities and everything are through journals, stuff like that. It's just little tiny tidbits of information at a time, and it's not really a lot. They're more focused on showing you the gore and showing you the monsters in this game, that it just kind of takes away from that. And the story just seems to be there to move you from the next setting to this setting to that setting, and constantly throw you around and show you these horrific scenes, which actually to me weren't really horrific, more just gross. But I mean, in terms of gameplay, it did remind me a lot of Resident Evil 4, with some of the environments like the village style, stuff like that. And it also has kind of that Silent Hill kind of feel, where you're really not sure what's going on. There's all these strange monsters, and you get these like really misty areas, which that's actually really cool. And then you also had the Keeper, which, you know, could be kind of like their own Pyramid Head. But, you know, there's a lot of cool aspects in this game. The sneaking, the being able to run from enemies. When you do have these options, the game shines. But when you start getting into the points where it just throws hordes of enemies at you, it's just a third-person shooter that's mediocre at best. So I don't think they really played on their strengths enough, and they ended up falling a little flat for it.
Overall, what would you tell somebody who wants to pick up this game?
Honestly, if you're determined to pick this up, no matter what I say, you're probably going to get it anyways. But I wouldn't pay full price. I actually didn't, but I still paid way too much. I feel like a $20 price tag would be fair for this kind of game. I mean, there's a lot of length to this game, but it's just not fun enough for me to keep going through and just torturing myself with constantly dying over and over again and just ruining the feel and the pacing and the story and everything. Just really, it just didn't feel worth the $50 I paid for it.
Yeah, I agree with you on the not paying full price for it.
So, interesting game, really great visuals. It has its moments, but for the most part, I would pass this one by and wait till it's on sale.